What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr Wargames and I'm bringing to you guys my updated Cyberse deck profile. This is using not only the new cards from the new structure deck that's just recently come out, Power Code Link, but it also uses everything else that we have ever had since the Cyberse came into the game, including, as you can see, Firewall Dragon. So, with all that said and done guys, let's get right into it. So, the way that I've gone through the Cyberse deck, just as a quick note, is that I've gone with a mentality on how to build a Cyberse. Now, my mentality is you need a good consistent amount of summoners in the deck and the extenders in the deck. Those are the two types of monsters that you need to have in the Cyberse deck in order to have a nice consistent ratio of plays every turn. So with that mentality, summoners include monsters that either summon from the hand, summon from the deck, or summon from the graveyard. If your monster summons from anywhere of those, it counts as a summoner in the deck and is a nice way to start off your plays. Now, extenders means special summoning themselves. This can be from the graveyard, hand, anywhere basically. If it summons itself, it's an extender. So they can combo with your summoners, your starters, your play starters, in terms of like getting the combos going off at the beginning, or when your combos are all finished and you have more extenders in your hand, you can resume your plays. So you want to have a nice ratio of those monsters in your deck, and that's how you can build a Cyberse deck in a very nice consistent way. The build I had before, I had a very nice, literally it was just playing 3 of everything. If it summons, you had 3 of it. If it doesn't, you're not playing it at all. If it has if it's an extender, you play 3 of it. If it doesn't, then you don't play it at all. Now that's what I had before. So to the point where literally every turn I was making a transcode talker with an Xcode talker on literally turn 1 with some back row set. Yes, there's back row in this deck, because that's another mentality I had. If you instead of trying to go for like stupidly massive boards with nothing to protect them, because Cyberse unfortunately don't really have that much protection on their own, your opponent's going to get over it, and there's nothing going to be able to that you can do to stop them. But if you just go with a minimum amount that you need, a transcode and an Xcode is very good in terms of like a first turn play. If you have some back row set, your opponent's going to have a good tough time getting over it, because not only do they have to get over your big beat sticks, literally transcode in that situation would be like 3300, not something to laugh at. But if you have back row set, they're going to have to deal with that as well. So that's how I had before, the deck before, and I've literally just improved on it using the cards from the latest deck. So with all that said and done guys, I had to explain that to you, because that's literally how this deck came into fruition, and how I would recommend you build Cyberse. With all that said and done, let's get right into it. So this isn't one of the stars and extenders though, but this gets you to them. So the only card that we play in this deck that does not summon itself or summon something else, a starter or an extender, is Lady Debug, because she literally grabs you those cards. So instead of having to hopefully draw into them, if you have a Lady Debug, it's literally 3 additional copies on every starter and extender that you have in your deck. So she's the only card in this deck that goes away from the main means of the deck and the rules of the deck. She's the only exception to that, just because she literally gets you into them. Really, I would kind of wish that she was a level 3, if anything. But unfortunately she isn't. Also, I actually kind of wish that she searched level 4 monsters. Unfortunately, she only searches level 3. But luckily, we have a starter and an extender in our deck. That is level 3. So now moving on to the starters. These cards are what summons from the anywhere to get you more monsters onto the field. So first we have the 3 Balancer Lords. The reason we play 3 of this guy is because he's a level 4 and Debug can't search it. So you play 3 of this guy, paying 1,000 life points, you get an additional normal summon of Cyberse, which is very strong in this deck. Really gets your plays going. So we have 3 of him. Then we have 2 Widget Kids in my original build. In my build before the structure deck, I had 3 Widget Kid, but now because of Lady Debug, we can actually drop him down to 2 because Lady Debug can search it. So he's also one that summons from the hand, but he can summon any Cyberse from the hand. So if you're playing a high level Cyberse like Segmental Dragon and Link Slayer and stuff like that, Widget Kid can also summon those as well, which is actually pretty cool. And then we have 3 copies of Cyberse Gadget. Again, another level 4, so we have to play 3 of it. He summons from the graveyard. He summons a level 2 or lower Cyberse from the graveyard, and when he leaves the field, he summons a token. So he's an even stronger starter because he summons more monsters because of the token summons. And then we have 2 Prompt Horn. Unfortunately, I had to drop Prompt Horn again as well, because Lady Debug can also search this card, but we also have 1/1 in the deck, so we can also search this as well. So the argument I had with myself, do I want to play Prompt Horn or Draconet? And unfortunately, Draconet, rest in peace, I do love that card. Prompt Horn just has a lot more power plays. Like literally, if you can resolve a Prompt Horn, it's even an instant Link 4 or a Link 3 with more cards left over to extend your plays with. Or no, Prompt Horn, if you resolve it, it's either 1 Link 4 or 2 Link 3s. Thanks to the help of Transcode. So Prompt Horn, you gotta play it. I have to play it because it's just too good. If you resolve it, it's really strong. So now those are your starters. Those are your starters and Lady Debug. Now moving on to the extenders. So these cards summon themselves. 2 backup secretary. In my build before the deck, I had 3 of this card. But again, Lady Debug searches it, so you can play 2 of it. And then I have Dotscaper. These are the only extenders I have in the deck. In terms of like these cards summon themselves through their own effects. So backup secretary and Dotscaper summon themselves. Moving on to the one card that is just a nice extender in its own unique way, and that is Donglecorn. Or Datacorn, as TCG renamed it. This card doesn't summon itself, but if it's summoned by another means, it gets you a token. So it's a nice extender for the deck. It's another 1/1 target, and it's also an allure target in this deck, because yes, we play allure because the deck needs draw power. That isn't in the form of just Flame Buffalo. Unfortunately, I do love Flame Buffalo. It's a very nicely designed card for Cyberse, but the deck needs its own draw power spell, so I had to implement Allure in this deck, and Allure does work very well in this deck. And to run up the monsters, you've got to play the normal monsters for your Prompt Horn, so that's 3 Protrons and 1 Bitron. This ratio is a very, very strong ratio, very consistent, and it lets you resolve Prompt Horn pretty much any point at any time. So those are the monsters in the deck. Moving on to spells. Literally, the spells in this deck literally form do one thing and one thing only, except for one set of spells which I'll get to later, and that is they summon cards. They either summon cards to the field or search you cards, and deck fin. So first off, with the spells, Rota spells is a Signet Backdoor. You're still going to play 3 copies of this card. It's such a consistent card in the deck. You banish the Cyberse on your field, add 1 from deck to your hand of equal or less attack, and then on your next standby phase, that banished monster gets returned to the field and they can attack directly. This literally enables all of your link monsters to search everything in your deck. 1/1 for the Datacorn and the Prompt Horn. Literally, if you get the 1/1 off with the Prompt Horn and something else to attribute, you're in a very, very strong position. Literally, 1/1, a card to discard, and Lady Debug is a very nice strong play. And then we have the 3 Allure Darkness. The deck needs consistency. Also, if you resolve Prompt Horn, you shouldn't have to resolve another Prompt Horn later on in that game. So literally, your other Prompt Horns are very nice food for Allure Darkness, as well as other cards in your deck. Like if you can't get the Datacorn in the graveyard very easily, you can just literally banish it off the Allure Darkness. You don't need Datacorn. and other things as well. This card was a lot more consistent in the previous build because I had the Draconets in there as well. So Draconet was another card where if you resolve it once, you shouldn't have to resolve it again. So Lure of Darkness was nice food for well, it was nice food for Lure of Darkness as well. But I'm still trying Lure of Darkness in the deck just for that extra bit of consistency. If you don't want to play it, I'd take all of them out, put in 2 Flame Buffaloes and probably another backup Secretary. 3 copies of Scapegoat. You know, you could probably drop this down to 2 if you want to, but I find 3 Scapegoats is very, very nice. It's a defensive card for the deck in the form of like somewhat of a trap. But it's also a extender and starter in its own unique way. Like literally, Scapegoat ticks all the boxes. And then I play 3 revival cards in forms of Soul Charge, World Legacy, Successor, and Monster Reborn. These help extend your plays and start your plays as well. It's kind of like saying about Scapegoat. And then the cards I'm trying out in this deck, just because literally it's Cyberse, you link summon. So I'm trying out with 1 Terraforming and 2 Signet Storms. If you Signet Storm enables you to go off and with your link summon plays uncontested, no worries whatsoever. Also, it gives your monsters an additional buff, which can be very nice for your lower level, lower link 2 monsters, and even in terms of like your Karibo, link Karibo becomes like an 800, so at least it's something. But also, because the way I built the extra deck is literally just all Cyberse, the second effect of Signet Storm will always resolve. What it will give you is still random and it's still exciting to find out, but it will always resolve nonetheless. So I'm testing it out just to see how it goes. If I don't like it, I'll probably just take it out for 3 more trap cards. In terms of the trap cards, I'm just playing the Solemn Brigade. Just because if you have a good field of link monsters backed up with a Solemn, one of the Solemns, you're in a very good spot. Your opponent's going to have to get over your monsters, plus they're going to have to deal with the Solemn that you have set. So that's the main deck. The extra deck is literally 1 Firewall. One thing that you can put in here as well is a Topologic Bomber, because it is another Cyberse monster that you can summon off your Signet Storm. But this extra deck is Yusaku focused as well in its own unique right. That's just for my fun perspective as well, because Cyberse is a fun deck. As competitive as I make it for you guys, it is still a fun deck to play. So my extra deck is very Yusaku focused, but you rarely go into the Link 4s to be honest anyway, just because your Link 3 Code Talkers are very strong in their own unique fight, especially if you get a whole bunch of them together. But Firewall Dragon is the one Link 4 that I play, but again you can play the Topologic Bomber for your Signet Storms and the Bowl Loads. The Bowl Monsters, shall I say. Moving on to the Code Talkers, I do play 2 Transcodes, 1 Decode, 1 Excode, 1 Encode, and the new Power Code. These are the only Link 3s I play. I did have Trigate Wizard in here, but I took it out for the Power Code Talker. The reason for that, I never went into it. Literally, I never really went into Trigate Wizard just because the Code Talkers literally did everything that I needed them to do to literally just beat down my opponents with some nice unique defenses built into them. So Transcode, the reason I play 2 Transcodes is because he is such a strong monster. He starts off your plays at the beginning, and he can also get you back in the game if you make another one. Because Transcode can revive a link monster to a zone he points to for free once per turn. So you can literally just get back in your initial combo, you'll get back the Link 2 that you make to then build to make another Code Talker underneath it. And then if that gets outed, you then just make another Transcode Talker to then just revive the other Code Talker that's in your graveyard. Decode is your other boss monster in terms of like high attack power. Xcode, believe it or not, is actually one of the best ones in the extra deck, just because it combos very well with your Transcode Talker, giving you card effect protection as well as giving you an attack buff. Encode is a kind of like another boss monster in terms of like getting over big monster threats, and can do some nice game enders. And now the new Transcode Talk, the new Power Code Talk is some nice effective negation in the extra deck, while also being a very strong beat stick in its own right. The rest of the extra deck is Link 2s and 3s. So we have one Honeybot for the battle protection, one Underclock Taker just for the nice arrows and attack reduction. Flame Administer is probably one of the best Link 2s in this extra deck, just because it gives all your monsters an attack buff. And can get some nice like OTKs in, or some nice big finishes in. One Proxy Dragon just because it's nice and generic. You can put in the new Landphonics in the extra deck if you want to as well, over Proxy Dragon. But Proxy Dragon does have that nice protection and the nice side arrows if you need it. One Pent Stag, so your monsters can do some nice piercing damage. And those are the Link 2s that I play. For Link 1s, I do play the one Link Disciple, one Link Spider, and one Link Karibo. Just have a nice ratio of all the Link 1s I could possibly use. We all know what Link Karibo and Link Spider do, but the Link Disciple is one that came out in Cybernetic Horizon. It needs one level 4 lower Cyberse. You contribute one monster this card points you to draw one card. Then you can place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. You can use the Link Disciple once per turn. So it's just a nice little draw shuffle for your deck. And that, guys, is the deck. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please leave a comments down below what you think about this deck. There's been tons, and I mean tons, of thought process has gone into this deck to make it as consistent as I can, to make as many Link plays as you can, while giving you some protection, while being prepared for the next turn and stuff like that, and while not literally emptying your entire hand just to make like 2 Link monsters, is what I try to do with this deck. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. There will be another build of this coming up in the future that uses the ritual monsters as well, because unfortunately the ritual monsters need their own build, as well as the upcoming fusions. So I will be bringing you a build on the ritual build sometime soon, so stay tuned to that one if you want to see how that goes. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling.
What's up, YouTube? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, and of course don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round, so don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.